Hey, hey, hey. It's Christmas time. Let's see here. 228. Episode 228. Day 4 of Christmas time. Hey, Chillestrand. And Jordy. Jordy Bruloft? Something. How's everyone doing? Hey, Captain Balls. Bruiloft. Ah, very close to Swedish, which is bröllop. Bröllop Bruiloft. It's not that far away. Dear Bard, how's it going? Zealin. Good morning, Quentin in reverse. So I've been painting a little bit about on this one in off stream. I feel like it's a little bit potentially, the palette is very samey. Hey, Ilord, good morning. So as you can see, I've sharpened some corners. Still lots and lots to do. I think I'll give the whole painting this kind of treatment that's on the left side, so we can see the shapes, and then I'll keep enhancing. So I think what I want to do today is work on the floor, work on the characters on the right, and I think that's what I'll be able to do today in half an hour, most likely. Yeah. Hey, Captain Bowl. Hey, Quentin in reverse. Okay. All right. Time is now. So let's start. Oh, let's do it. So I was thinking maybe one thing that I might need to change is like add a carpet. Like what if there would be like a carpet over here? Just something to help guide the eye, you know? Maybe the edge is slightly turned up. I think something like that is needed just to help with the composition, to kind of corner it. But I'm gonna keep the carpet on a separate layer so that if I need, I'll be able to just toggle it, right? But as it stands, I think it needs to be something there. Oh, you guys can't see it because of the... I'll move it up so you see it. Hey, Nereda. Queen Mila. Oh, who gave me some love? Sporalex Go. Cheers. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Bruno Romanos. All right, so carpet. Let's keep that on a separate layer. So I just want to add some like details to the floor. So when I toggle the line art off, it'll read a little bit better. I was sitting and painting on this a little bit last night, like for half an hour, and I was struggling with an interesting thing that I think is quite common is palette. What information should be where, and it's so easy to just kind of get lost in it, right? It's That's one of the things I really appreciated with um, those palette studies I did a while back, where I looked at the color theory of James Gurney and gamut masks. Hey, good morning, Oms. And Eric Mui. How's it going? Yeah, so I think that was such a great warm-up technique. Um, and I think in general it was a really good thing to do, like before I started painting. For all of you who were there when I did those explorations, it was like a fixed palette. If you think about the circular palette, you know, where you have all the colors in a circle, and you have like a clipping mask to that, and you can only paint what's within that clipping mask. So with a triangle, you're having a triad, obviously, and you try to limit the palette that you can use. So you have to navigate within those ranges that you are defining with a gamut mask, that clipping mask of the color wheel. And I think somehow I need to reintroduce that when I know like that I will be doing a painting. So I need we need to start thinking about the shopping list for illustrations rather than designing. So I'll make a new list that we need to do here. So that is palette, composition. Those are the two things currently that I know is very important. Well, there's some funky colors. Why did they? Oh, no. And not colors, shapes, I mean. There, it's gonna be good. Yeah, I love that all of you join in the morning. It's fantastic. So palette and composition is definitely one of the big things that are important for an illustration. Like to try to master. Is there any points that you think should be on the list for when it comes to illustration? Like, what is the steps to go? Hey, Louis the Awesome. Welcome. I know last 5%. That's definitely the last push. That's the hardest. That's very much needed when doing an illustration. Do you guys have any thoughts of what you need to do in order to be successful illustrating an illustration? I find always the problems with an illustration. I think if I look back at what in my past history of making illustrations, and kind of try to do a post-mortem of the paintings. For those who don't know what a post-mortem is uh, post-mortem means obviously after death. So when you finish the project, you criticize, you critique what went good, what went bad, what you could improve, what you thought was good about it, so on. So the post-mortem of some of my illustrations is one thing I know is that there's a gap where mood and detail is hard to go at the same level constantly. Like you always compromise one, and which is scary in a way. Thanks, Luis. Lighting. Hey, Miesis. The agenda is to fix the floor on the right side. So composition palette, composition, lighting, values, for sure. Cigarettes. Hey, Avu the breakfast. How's it going, man? Yeah, the narrative, for sure. Okay, that's a good point. So where does that come in? Composition, narrative, definitely. Probably comes here, right? Yeah, probably something on the lines of that hierarchy. Right, so floor. So if we turn off the top layer, yeah, the floor is getting there, I'd say. Or it's getting to a state where it's good enough, right? So that we at least can switch off the line art layer. And the characters here in the front as well. But there's something in this painting, it's something that's been bugging me a lot, and it's like this muddiness of the palette. And I've been trying to tweak it with like layers and things like that, and I think I haven't tried this yet, but I will have to. What I think I need to do to get the palette to work is to go in and add saturation at places, like a lot more life to the shadows in particular. I think there's it all becomes very like muddy or gray and dirty, right? There's no clean colors in a lot of things here at the moment, especially where they are in shadow. Oh, obviously I know that I'm not finished. Things like they will change, obviously, to keep with the whole lighting situations in mind. So there's going to be a lot more work done on them. But it still keeps bugging me. It's like annoying. And I'm hoping that I'll find a solution for it soon, so that I can enjoy painting instead of struggling with the painting. It's not that I'm stuck, not at all, but I know it irks me. Georgia, yeah, I think I'll add colors to the shadows. And also more saturation at places, but I don't want to just boost saturation of the whole painting. I think that'll Atmosphere effects. Yeah, that's true. That needs to be added. Let's add that. So that comes with towards the uh, atmosphere effects. That definitely comes towards the end, I think. Definitely Miasis. That is, I agree with that. Hey, Captain Jetlag, how's it going? A voodoo breakfast. Well, the picture has like it's a little bit complicated, right? So it's a matter of like cool light from the background from the sky, the open door, right? And he comes with warm light.
All right.
Hey, thank you very much for the follow, Decadus. Much appreciated. Yeah, it definitely needs to be separated. If you guys remember yesterday, I tried with a blue gradient, like up into the roof. I think it was the right idea, but wrong application of the idea, right? So I think I'm in the right direction, but it definitely needs a lot more work. How dare you fall? So I don't want to. That's the thing, right? I don't want to spend too much time on everything, but everything needs to read, um, so that I can make those calls in regards to what needs to be pushed back in what color and so on. That's at least how my mind works. So what I want to do is just have some rough directions, which I think I'm getting close to, um, so that I can just focus on uh, building the image stronger. Uh, hmm? Oh, no. Yeah, I think with the illustrations like these, they're always tricky. And I was with the forest walker painting, I kept going back and forth with values and brushwork all the time. It's so easy to get lost in like what's needed. So like OBS is kind of washing it out a bit. Clearly, it's the standard is always the problem. But what I think I need to do first of all is not to have so dark shadows on these characters. I think that'll help with the image a lot more. These time sprites. But Miasis had a good point about separating the background with the foreground, and that's something I really have to address. Um, which has been bugging me, which I have on the shopping list to do on the painting. So that's definitely something I will focus on. I started yesterday darkening the main guy a bit. Hey, Eternal Lady, welcome. So I started with darkening him a little bit, so to help push like what's back and what's forward. And I think I need to continue doing that a bit today. So I think I'm done defining the floor and the characters to a point now where I can start building more the color and mood. So if I look at that list that we started creating about palette, composition, lighting, I'd say palette is something I'll go with. I'm fine with that. Composition, I'm fine with that. Composition actually should be first. Let's change that. So composition, I'm done. Palette, I'm okay with. Lighting, halfway there. Values, you see, this is where I've messed up. I think values, I should have done better value at the same time as composition. You see? Composition and narrative has to be at the very beginning. Now this list now makes better sense. Thank you very much, Mrs. Thank you, dear Bart. Yeah, he's so happy. He's like, oh shit, let's fuck stuff up. Yeah, so looking at that list, hey, I mean, I'd say where I'm struggling is Eternal Lady, probably with when it comes to FX. So values is a bit shit at the moment. I need to help push the values a bit, and also push the focal point. I think I messed up a bit with values, so I'm gonna try now to kind of focus a little bit the light, so that it'll help the image a little bit more, so we start looking at the right place. Currently, I'm undecisive of like what color the shadows should be. I'm assuming because we're indoors and they're gonna be cool from the back. Yeah, but you see, for example, Mia's comment about foreground background is a very valid one, and I think it's something I should have defined already. So one thing that I played around with in the Forest Walker one was I did a lot of color dodge. I'm thinking maybe that carpet is messing up the composition. Jordy. I think I maybe messed the composition up with that carpet. I don't know. Okay, so I'll do some color dodge actually, and carefully play with that to start kind of harmonizing a little bit, just to help boost the palette. And I know that when doing the actual painting, it's gonna be a lot of give and take in when it comes to fixing the palette and colors and so on, and a lot of fine tuning. I'm not even close to a state where fine tuning is on the table, you know. But we're slowly getting there. And that's one thing I think is very important with having a good sketch, is that you really gotta experiment with all these things early on, so that when you're designing or painting an illustration, it's all, you know, you should try to remove the guesswork as much as possible. And a big part of learning, you know, like what is the guesswork that I need to limit, is a big part of it is your own process of painting. You know, where do you usually fail your painting? Like, where's your lack of knowledge? And when it comes to illustrations like this, in the way I do this one, which is obviously without a brief, I'm making it up as I went along. You know, there's nothing in when I started this painting that said what he should be doing, right? I just went on emotions. So that itself put me in a weird starting point. And that's the biggest problem. Like I talked about this when I started painting the Forest Walker as well. I think I streamed a couple of episodes where I took that further. Oh, special stream, yeah, that's right. And that is because it was a warm-up. It didn't have any specific direction or anything. It was just whatever comes out. And then taking that directly to a painting gave me a lot of problems I had to solve as I was painting it into a bigger project. So one thing to try to limit that is if you're going to use a sketch that wasn't intended for an illustration, but you liked the sketch, you know, like, oh, this speaks to me, this could be something, I should try to push this more, push this further. You should always, like, at least this is what I think. I think you should always try to boil down what you love about the sketch, and then think, is this the best way that this sketch is presented? Could I re-sketch, do another version of it that tries to showcase the same things I loved about it, but in a better way? And most likely, the sketch, that whatever you liked about it, has a point, has a narrative, has a presentation that speaks to you. You should try to grasp what that is, and then kind of write it down, I think, so that at least you spend enough time defining it, so that when you do start painting, you're not going to have any issues with like composition, narrative, uh, all those things that is so easily ignored, and you're just let's paint something pretty. Yeah, I think the point of view, um, I had the idea when I was sketching that something should like have minions with it, right? That was the rough. Let's see here. That was the rough sketch that I started out with. Like, but this is I had an earlier version, so this was, like I just wanted something to come in, like we were looking up at something that it has a story about it. Um, so that's the intent of the point of view, and I think definitely the point of view helps tell the story. And I think that's one of the things, for example, the League of Legends wallpapers do really, really well, is have a really dynamic camera angle that usually is strongly tied in with the narrative to further help sell the point of view of the reason behind the painting.
All right.
Hey, thank you very much. Cynic's design. Way, Cynic's, my old internet friend. We used to do open canvas for days and days. Thank you very much for the follow, man. I have all those open canvas VPEs left, Cynics. Hey, Motion. Yeah, unfortunately, all you lovely people joined in at the very, very end of my 30-minute stream. But rest assured, tomorrow at the same time, minus 30 minutes, comes the next stream. Yeah, Mia's Open Canvas was an old program, much like today's Procreate, but it was a network-based like Photoshop Lite, where you could connect and paint on the same canvas together. And me, Cynics, a bunch of other people at the time were completely smitten by the network, like the idea of a network Photoshop. And it was, we spent hours and hours, days and days painting together. It's really cool. It even had like a chat window and stuff like that. It's really cool. And what was really cool with Open Canvas was that it recorded each brushstroke of every person connected, so that when you hit play, you saw the whole canvas like grow together. Yeah, Cynics, it's the same time every day. So it's 10 past 9 UK time, AM, which is now minus 30 minutes. So if you're around, so you just feel free to drop by. I will make sure to actually catch you on Twitch as well. I will make sure to do all those button presses. And it was free. Yeah, exactly. And I have Feng Zhu, Craig Mullins, Kekai Kotaki, Sidix, what was his name? Prostate Sunrise was his nickname, but I don't remember what his name. He lives in New Zealand now, I think. Really good guy. Hey, Starben XXL. Yeah, I'll have them all those VPEs. Actually, oh, you know what I should do? I should do a special stream streaming all those old VPE files. Yeah, Prostate Sunrise, he had mad skills even then. It was crazy to see. Yeah, yeah, it was all cool. So if we look back at my kind of laundry list at the beginning of the stream, I wanted to define the floor a little bit more, define the character a little bit more, and kind of push the painting is slightly forward. I'd say I'm in the right direction. I still need to go in and start playing with the background versus foreground a little bit more. But I think that'll come with the more I push the painting forward. I'm still a bit annoyed by the kind of muddy palette. That's something I'm going to have to play around with offline. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining in. Oh, Jordy, don't be that way. Cheers. Anyways, tomorrow is new day. Let's continue on tomorrow. Thanks everyone for joining in. Catch you guys on Discord. Time flew for sure, Zalin. Shout out to Cynics Decades Sporalex Go for the follow today. Much appreciated. All right. Thanks everyone for coming, and see you tomorrow. Outro time. Outro.